I am putting up the hood for obviously what the title says. The reason I'm doing this is also because multiple other reasons, but the first reason being the reason I'm doing this is because I got the stuff and I want to fix a problem I keep having with my wires. So this was about $5 J-car, and I have these wires which are exposed and they seem to keep contacting things and causing a bit of grief. So here's another one of those wires, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what every other wire pretty much has. It has this like shroud plastic stuff on it, and it holds all the wires away from things. Unfortunately we don't see it on the firewall, but on most modern cars they do have this. They have this stuff very similar to this, or exactly the same, and it protects the wires from getting hot. Now, the reason these could be like this is because someone put a basic wiring loom in, made a new one. I'm not sure. My other guess would be it came like this from the factory. Another guess would be someone pulled it out of a car and then put it in like this. It doesn't really look too advanced, which is why I'm assuming that no one actually made it. I'm assuming that it came from the factory like that, because it does. Well, it does and it doesn't seem right. I mean, here it doesn't seem quite right, but everywhere else, like these black loopy things, looks right. So, we are losing a shroud, and I can't tell how long this has got to be, but the engine's cold, so I can put this anywhere I want. Now, as you can see, there's probably oil leaks everywhere. Don't worry about them, they're just power steering. Can't afford to do the power steering now. So, what I've got to do is I've got to figure out how long this is going to be, and it's very hard when you're live streaming and you don't have the stuff to hold up the camera. So what I'm going to do, find a nice comfortable spot, or I could just change this from live stream to an actual video. That'd probably be easier, because I've never really done this camera stuff like this before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a bit out, and maybe a bit more, and push it back in the container. What I'm going to do, I'm going to feed it up here. And by the way, my clothes are clean, and I just came from school, because stuff is annoying about school, but at the same time things are cool about school. So yeah, I'm going to feed this up here, feed this over here, and grab her. Come on. Using 2 fingers, I've chopsticked her up, and she's over. So that's good enough there. Put this over here, dump it over here. Then what the goal is to get this shroud in exactly the right area you need it to be. And because I've not really done this too much, in fact I've never done it, this is actually the first time I'm using this stuff, but this is how you should have your wires in your car, just to be certain that they're not going to go cuckoo. And then what you do is you find the wire you want, which is the white one there, which I can't exactly access. So I want the white one, and I want to make sure that I go all the way under the injector pump, and maybe over here 1 or 2 points, and then latch it down to prevent any of the heat from contacting it. Now it could also be the water bottle as well, because there's all this loose wire here, and it could be also the heat from the water bottle getting it. So I can't exactly live stream too easily right now because of this, and we'll find another way to do this. Unfortunately, I've also got a speakerphone thing. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I don't know what all it is. Come on. Okay. This is kind of okay till the point the camera falls over. Okay, so there. Hopefully they can still hear. If the video still runs and works well. Stuff in my pocket. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to do what I just said a minute ago. Get this shroud onto the wire of choice, the desired wire of choice. And actually I end up probably doing both to some extent. The problem is it's not easy. You know what I'll do? If this doesn't want to work, there's a way to do this. I've never actually done this before, but my only guess is it would work like this. I'm splitting her in a little bit, except it's so tight, this space they've got to work with, that it's just not that easy. So there's two ways I can do this. One, I can actually feed the wire in, or two, I can start over here and work my way in towards the middle of the pump of the car, where the wire is, you know, contacting and stuff. So many ways I could do this. So, starting from here. I might even, just to prevent the loom from falling out, grab a bit of tape. This will help me a little bit as a guide. And since I've never done this before, I'm thinking about preventative measures I'm going to take to avoid having issues. And normally I should really, actually, I'll just do that anyway. Just grab this, wrap that on there. Someone's yelling stop in the neighborhood. I have no idea why. That's not my problem. My problem is me and the car getting this done. And then I snap the tape. The wire is actually in here now, so I don't think I can show you from where you are. Essentially, actually I could show you. The thing is, I've got all this wire here that I can. I've got enough leniency. I can bring this up. Not too far, but as you can see, I got this tape and it's around the wire where I put the wire in. And so what my goal is to feed as much wire in as possible, which is fairly easy once the stuff's on. I think what I'll do is I'll actually sort of checkpoint it and say, right, I'm happy with that amount of wire in there now. I'm going to now tape this up again, just to be certain that she's not going to fall out too easily. And that's done. Okay, next is to get some more wires in. This is actually pretty cool, thinking about it. I have no idea how many minutes it takes to get this stuff in. I can only assume this will be actually the easiest way, probably, to actually get the wire in. I'm also going to presume that this is about the right length that we wanted, the desirable length. Okay. Almost there. And yeah, it's actually gotten a little bit easier now, so go in. And she's in. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it up. And there we go. That's all on there now. I've got a snake skin sort of on my wire. This end can now be taped up. That's also very loose. I think it needs to be a bit tighter than what it is, but I'm not going to fuss about it, because if I fuss too much, I might end up having issues. So normally they tape the whole thing up, like a little bit at least. That's to hold all the wires inside the tube. But this will protect my wires from getting too hot and causing a bit of some issues which I don't really want. So what I'll do is feed that in here somehow. And that will protect that wire from a whole bunch of issues. Bang! Snipped. That is my insulation done. Now I just need to maybe take this end up. Oh, I got plenty of extra on this end. Whoop-de-doo. That's okay. Extra wire will actually be kind of good. Extra thing will be good in the future. I'm not going to overdo it, because if I overdo it, then I won't be able to slide the wires and stuff through, and if I end up needing to take it off again, I'll be able to take it off. So I'm being smart with my decisions, but it just takes time. It's like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. It's not like, oh, you're super proficient with everything you do. I don't think anyone really is. There's a zip tie here, and guess what? We can utilize it in a very valuable way. It does exactly the same job. And I've dropped it on the ground. Okay, Zippy. I don't know if anyone said anything. I'm just gonna look. No one's even watched the stream, so it's not really any point in going too crazy. But someone might look at it later in the future and be like, "Hey, you know how to fix or something?" And they're like, "Show me the magic." My magic is essentially get your hands dirty and fix it. And that fixes that problem. Maybe. Okay, so I've got all this extra wire here. I also want to see if I can get out of the way. See, I made this wire too long, and it's one of the problems I've got here. Being so long means I have a lot of extra wire and nothing to really do with. Okay. This is not going to be the hottest spot in the car, it's not going to be the coldest spot, but it's just right. Okay, so my hands are actually filthy dirty. That's horrible. And that should solve a problem with heating on the car. So that wire contacts that, so that's not good. So maybe I'll want to make a piece for that, you know. Small strip. And then I don't really have to, you know, do much with this. You just snap her on. Oh, flick. Or I could unplug it. Which will actually be a little bit easier. Problem is, there's some issues with trying to do that. Here we go. And there we go. We have some heat protection there. Just to be certain that this is not going to come off too easily, I'm just going to ensure that the thing at one end at least isn't going to come off. Okay, so that's that done and dusted. So I'm a little bit dirty, but what I've done is these wires can contact here on the thermostat housing here, and when it's touching, it's probably getting hot and adding resistance. So I've also done this one here, and that's why I pulled the wire through here. I can pull a bit back since it's a little bit tight here. And I'll give it some looseness and play. And it goes all the way under the injection pump, and then it goes back to the the temperature sender unit, which is here. You can see it in the side, and that's my aftermarket gauge, which is in the car, hiding right there in the middle of the dash. The silver thing right there. Bang. Anyway, some news on the side of this. I got a new mirror. I had to replace it twice because first of all I had problems with the pivot joint here causing issues. I fixed that up. Then I pulled off the mirror because the bolt was coming loose, and then I loosened up the joint because it was too tight, and then when I did that it just got all sloppy and loose. Bought another mirror on the day I was working, put it on, had similar problems, and I also put on one of those sticky mirrors over there that's on that one on. And last night took the mirror to the store we went to yesterday and told them I'm having this problem, showed them. They went and got another one off the shelf and checked it, and they said mine was a faulty one that I bought off the shelf. Lady said, do not put this sticky mirror on, we're not going to replace another one if you have the same problem again. So this mirror, when I put my finger on it, takes a bit of load to make it rotate, but there it's a little bit loose. So yeah, I'll adjust that when I get in the car and drive again. But my other one was so loose that it would just swing around with my finger, my pinky, and it was too easy. And this one here is really tight. Like, it's taken a lot of effort, and I'm not even turning it compared to that one. That one's loose and this one's tight. And there's this mirror here, and I had that on one of those. I took it back to the store because I had problems, and they said they will refund it this time but not next time. So that should solve my problem. I will find out in the future whether that fixes the issue, but that is the problem I've been having. I'm seeing oil over here, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. Probably have to clean it and then analyze where it's coming from. Blow off valve could be blowing it out, and it could be oil. There's just all these oily things all over the place. But I was told by a guy, and by the way, you can see there's a puddle of oil on the turbo there that's coming out of here. For one, I shouldn't be boosting this car as much, because if I boost it, the oil is just coming out every orifice it possibly can. Essentially, this thing's worn out, and oil's going through the vacuum lines here, pressure lines. They're not really vacuum, but they're pressure, and it's causing issues. But it's also lubricating parts, so I don't see it entirely as a problem, but it's a problem nevertheless because I'm losing oil. Next problem is the fact that turbo might be getting too hot apparently, and that might be making everything else heat up when it shouldn't be. And that's why I'm getting high temps when I'm driving the car hard. And I have to drive it hard sometimes just because of the conditions of the roads require you to drive it hard for high speed. There's all this oil, I don't know where it comes from. And then there's this blow-off valve, and the blow-off valve here, I got told by a guy, you should put an adapter on there, plumb it back into the intake manifold, essentially this thing, and then you'll have recirculate it, essentially, is a good idea, he reckons. It's probably had that before, but someone removed it because there was a thing missing on that housing there. So I have to find out if that's even possible, or what it's even had on it, because it's I think it was done before, but someone took it off. The problem with doing that is it's going through the air cleaner that way, and it's clean stuff. The idea is any excess turbo pressure that goes through here will go back into the manifold, and then the turbo doesn't have to work as hard to repressurize it here, and then when that air is used up, it will pressurize the new air coming in, not the old air. And when this thing is not working hard, all the air pressure is going to go this way and back out. So that's the idea. The only problem is then this all will get filled with oil. This filter will get filled with oil. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Well, anyway, I'm going to finish the video here. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.